Hey, it's Ethan Skolnick of the Five on the Floor podcast on the 5 Reasons Sports Network. Before we get to today's episode, I want to tell you about a new sponsor of the podcast and the network. That's Magic City Casino. We're all very excited for The High at Magic City this summer. That's JAI. The High is putting a brand new spin on a classic Miami experience featuring unbeatable drink specials, a live DJ, indoor lawn game area, live highlight, and so much more. The High is going to be Miami's newest hotspot on Friday and Saturday nights. Mark your calendars to live the high life that's starting on July 19th. All right, in today's episode, you're going to get 3 different interviews, not just one. I was out at Summer League in Las Vegas, put these 3 together at different times after different games and practices with 3 of the Heat's young players. So that's Duncan Robinson, Yante, Maten, and Kendrick Nunn, all 3 of whom have a chance to be contributors this upcoming season. Nunn, I guess, being the biggest surprise because I don't think Heat fans knew a lot about him, but he's been terrific out in Sacramento and Las Vegas. So enjoy these, and we'll talk to you soon.
Welcome to 5 on the Floor, a Miami Heat and NBA podcast from Ethan Skolnick with Alphonse Sidney, a.k.a. Alf954. Brought to you by the 5 Reasons Sports Network.
Ethan Skolnick here at Heat Summer League in Las Vegas with Yante Maten. Where do you think you've had the biggest growth in your game since you've been in the Heat program?
I would just say mainly my mental game in terms of being able to pick things up. Process was being told to me and try to apply it quickly. Also, I think my conditioning, I think that was really big. You know, that's one of the Heat's main priorities, conditioning, to be able to get up and down. So definitely, I think a combination of those 2 things and just not being tired and being able to read the game right and do everything like that.
Where do you think that they sort of project you in terms of, at this level, the position that you might be playing consistently and kind of the types of players you'd be guarding and how you'd be using the offense? Because I know when you're a featured player, it's different than when you're not a featured player and you got to make those adjustments. So what have they kind of communicated to you about that?
I mean, I think I'm a 4, definitely a 4. That's about it. I haven't been told too many things besides. That's mainly where I'm projected to be playing at, guarding 4s, playing as 4s. So.
The game has changed so much with the 4 position over the past 15, 20 years, where it's a stretch position in a lot of different ways. How does your game fit into that in terms of guarding those players, but also the way that you're utilized on offense?
I think I'm offensively, I'm an inside and out type of guy. I can make plays for both. So. I think that correlates really well, and I'm able definitely to guard my position. We've been working all summer, trying to make sure I'm able to guard multiple positions, not just the 4s or whatever. So, you know, just expanding my game offensively and defensively.
Where do you feel your range is at this point? Like, where are you comfortable shooting the ball on the floor?
I'm comfortable, honestly, anywhere on the 3-point line, and you know, I've always just had a natural nick for offense, so anywhere is really fine with me.
Are there particular spots on the floor? Some guys are more comfortable with the 3 on the corners, some sort of at the, at the elbow, at the top.
I don't know if I could tell you all them secrets, then people would guard me different, right?
I think everybody's scouted these days, man.
Yeah, that's true. Top of the key, corner. I think those are my favorites. Yeah.
I mean, corners is what the Heat have always kind of preached because obviously it's the shortest.
That's
when they're getting the good 3s. We've seen guys in this system, so many over the years, where they're in it for a couple of years and then you see the breakout, basically, where there is that sort of acclimation to it, and we're like, where did that guy come from? And then all of a sudden he's a rotation player. What do you view as your future? What do you think you can become with this team?
I mean, God is my author, and God gave me the ability to do anything. So I think the sky's the limit. I mean, I know that's a big statement or whatever, but I don't think God put a limit on me. So I'm not gonna put a limit on myself. I'm gonna just keep growing, keep nurturing my abilities, and keep trusting the coaching system, and keep working on my game, and what comes. But I mean, right now, I'm the type of guy to look at where I'm at right now and just try to build from here. But the future's gonna come, and I'm gonna keep working towards it. But keep progressing day by day. I think that's the biggest thing for me.
How close is this young group? I mean, we said there were years where the Heat had no young players on the roster,
right.
like the whole Big Three era, like all 4 years.
Yeah.
And now it's like you've got a bunch of you guys. You got Duncan, you've got Tyler. Obviously, we've seen pretty good things out of the point guard out here, out in Vegas. What do you like? Are you guys? You guys are all kind of going through this journey together a little bit, and obviously Sioux Falls, etc. What has that been like?
It's been a pretty fun journey, I'd say. It's every young guy's dream to play in the NBA or whatnot, or whatever, and try to get a shot at it. So I think all of us are workhorses. I know Duncan, I've seen him going to the gym countless nights. I've seen him there sometimes. Kendrick, too. Yeah. I didn't know too much about Kendrick before he got here, but once he got here, I just saw that he was in the gym just as much as anybody else. So, I think that's just a credit to our work ethic. And, I think that's Heat culture, too. The type of guys to get extra work in and work hard. So, I think we fit well. There's
a hunger thing to it, too, right? Yeah. I mean, because all of you guys, I was talking to Kendrick about this, have bounced around quite a bit. I mean, not everybody is as easy as Tyler, who's not 20 years old. He gets drafted 13th, right? But I'm not saying that's easy, but it's a different kind of journey. But you guys have had to prove yourself. We saw that with Rodney McGruder, a guy who nobody really projected, was all over the place, and now he's making $5 million a year, and he's going to be a rotation piece for the Clippers. Like, you see these success stories, and you all think it could be you, right?
Yeah, no, definitely. Rodney is a great example. Because not just as a basketball player, but as a human being. He's a real good guy. I talked to him multiple times, and his work ethic, I think, showed more than anything else about him. Besides him being just an incredibly good young man, his work ethic was huge, and that was inspiring, and that showed the right way. He did things the right way. So I think that was huge. And not just my development, but Duncan's as well. Just seeing that day by day, Rodney showing up to the gym early and getting all those shots up and whatnot. So, it's definitely a good example. Definitely, I pray that the same thing happens. We're able to keep working and show our abilities.
Final thing, I asked Duncan this question, and the other guys too. Kind of an unknown talent, maybe that you have that you can share with Heat fans. People don't know about. He told me he's a cook, which I had no idea, and he does some kind of pesto dish or something like that. Is there something about Yante Maten that the general public does not know?
Probably two things. I'm a huge believer of Christ. I attend VOUS Church. It's VOUS. In Miami. That's one of my favorite places to go. And I aspire to be a professional video game player. I mean, maybe not right now, of course. I'm too busy for that.
Well, the Heat has a team.
Yeah, I saw that. I think I follow them. Yeah.
Is it 2K?
I like video.
Is
2K, Fortnite, whatever. Apex. I go between the two.
Right.
No, I'm just a huge video gamer.
So in 2K,
not really aspiring.
But how much burn is Yante Maten getting in 2K when you're playing?
Oh, the max minutes you can get per game. Plus that. No, just kidding. I don't really play. I play my team, and I play my career. So usually it's just myself that I'm playing against.
You a FIFA player? Because you just lost Jay Rich. That was apparently the best FIFA player in all of South Florida.
I never really hopped into the soccer program.
But it's just more of a basketball.
Definitely. Basketball, shooting type of thing. So,
I'll say this is the final thing. I come back to you in 1 year. Probably not going to be here, but we'll see. How did the season go for you? How? In other words, if I come back in 1 year, what's Yante Maten going to be doing at that stage?
I guess I don't really know how to answer that question. Just playing defense and getting the bucket, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
On that, because I remember covering UD at his first summer league, 2003. Goes overseas, was with San Antonio's team. Everybody's talking about Dwayne and LeBron in 2003. UD makes a roster, and 20 years later, you can't get him out of the league still. Has he communicated much of his journey to you? Because there are some similarities here a little bit. You played at a prominent program in the SEC, just like he did. and there were questions about whether you're going to make it to the league, stick in the league, who was going to take the chance on you, and look what he's done, and he's like a pillar of South Florida. Have you had any of these conversations with Hassan?
A little bit, not too much, but me and OG, Udonis Hassan got pretty close over the year or whatnot. So, I mean, we just talked here and there, and especially when we're playing 2-on-2 and stuff like that. So that's definitely my guy. I know, I thank him because he was probably one of the reasons I got a chance on this team, just because he was like, that type of guy that works hard or whatnot. So,
great.
Yeah.
There's a track record there. In terms of you got to get a Subway franchise at some point too.
Right.
All right, Yante, appreciate it. Thanks and great luck this year. Ethan Skolnick back here at NBA Summer League in Las Vegas with the Miami Heat. Just finished up beating China in the first game here, and a lot of fans are talking about Kendrick Nunn and kind of what you've been doing so far in Sacramento, and then the first game here today. You look comfortable with this group. Where do you feel you are with your game right now?
Obviously, I'm at the peak of my game as far as my career, but I have a lot of development to go. I feel like I can get better in some aspects. I can continue to develop, and that's what I'm working on.
You were a big-time scorer in college, obviously, at Oakland, and now I know they want you to run a team here, too. And how do you sort of blend those two things as you're with a group now where you can do a lot of scoring, but obviously if you're going to be with the team, going forward, that they're going to want you to set other guys up and do those kind of things. Where do you kind of feel with that balance right now?
It's just a balance you have to have when you're a scoring guard to get others involved. That's what I'm trying to work on early in the game, to get my guys going and give them some confidence to make shots, things like that. I think I've been doing a great job doing that.
There's a history with the Heat of developing young point guards and kind of getting them ready to contribute in the system. It goes back 25 years with Pat Riley. There's a long list of guys. Yeah. What have they told you that they want to see from you so that you can be a contributor to this team?
They told me this to be who I am. That's a tough guard, getting after it defensively, and obviously I have the additional gift to score the ball as well as bringing it defensively, so that's a plus, and I'm just continuing to work and get 1% better every day and continue to work on every aspect of my game.
The ball handling, we've seen some of the moves. There were some people comparing you to Harden the other night after one of them. When do you let loose with some of those? When do you kind of pull it back a little bit? I
have to read the defense, if they pressure me a little bit, and I got to shake them a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Work my handle, and that's when I worked hard in the offseason to get my handle going, and that's something that I have as a point guard.
Have you noticed some of sort of the social media sensation with you among the Heat fans right now? Or?
A little bit, yeah. Definitely coming to my notifications and stuff like that, but I just try to silence the noise and just play basketball.
Is there a nickname you like?
Nunn, for sure.
All right, that's the one.
Yeah.
Go with Nunn going forward.
Yeah.
Playing with Tyler here a little bit, obviously, and getting comfortable with him in the backcourt. What are some of the strengths that you can play to with him, and sort of where is that comfort level with him? Because I'm assuming you guys are going to see a lot of each other in practice come the fall.
Tyler is a stud. That boy's a stud. He can go. All three aspects of the floor. As long as I get him going, I can be good because he gives me some relief.
It seems like he wants to push also, right? In transition. He does not stopping.
Yeah, he's aggressive. He's very aggressive. I love that about him. That just gets, if two good combo guards can be aggressive at the same time, that's tough to guard, so we need that.
What do you want fans to know about you? What are your interests? What do you like doing off the floor?
I'm a chill guy. I'm a family guy. I have a son. He's 2 years old. I spend as much time as I can with him. That's pretty much it. Just taking raising him.
I saw some of the photos on Instagram that you've got of him. Yeah. Coolest thing that he's doing right now that he wasn't doing 6 months ago. What do you like playing with him most?
Telling everybody no. That's his favorite word, no.
Is he saying no to basketball at this point? He put the ball in his hands a little bit?
He definitely asks for the ball. He probably anytime he see it, he asks for that ball. But if something he don't like, he'll let you know about it. No.
So he's got a scorer's mentality also already on this level?
Yeah.
I want to ask you, you were second in the country in made three-pointers, right, behind Trae Young. Did you want to be first? Were you gunning for it at the end of that season? Did you know where you were?
I took note of it a little bit, but I was just kind of playing it to the offense. That's what Oakland had, and that was allowing me to shoot as many threes as possible, open threes, and screening for me, getting me open and stuff like that. So I just played within the game, man. I mean, it was an honor to be that high up, but I'm really not worried about the rankings on that
part. Final thing.
Okay, I'm staying. I'm good. Yeah, I'm good.
Final thing for you. The year that you spent between Illinois and Oakland, the transfer, how difficult was that sitting out from basketball that year? And were you able to work on your game the way you wanted to work on your game during that time?
It wasn't as difficult as you think. I embraced that. That year was real big on my career. I sat back and I watched the game, studied the game, and worked very hard that off season and that summer. And I think that's when my game really made that jump.
Did you think you were going to get drafted?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
I did think I was going to get drafted, but things happen. I think I'm in a good spot. I bet on myself. I'm in a good position now.
And have you had any conversations with Pat about what your future might be in the organization?
Yeah, when I first got to Miami, I met with Pat, and he told me everything about the Heat organization. He told me buy in, and that I have an opportunity here.
You found any favorite spots in Miami you like at this point? Or
I got a lot of restaurants I go to. Koyo is one of my favorites.
Koyo Taco. We were there this weekend.
Yeah, man. That's one of my favorites.
Just can't go the wrong time of day, though, man. What are you getting at Koyo Taco?
I'm getting a shrimp quesadilla, steak tacos. I got a lot of spots. I go out to eat a lot, so.
We got to let the fans know when you're going. You can't feed the 2-year-old
right.
shrimp tacos.
Right, he like Happy Meals and stuff still at McDonald's.
All right, that's cool. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. I hope to get to know you a lot more.
Thank you.
Thanks, man. Ethan Skolnick here at Miami Heat practice at Las Vegas Summer League, talking to Duncan Robinson. And you talked a little bit about this yesterday after the game, but just your sort of general comfort level now being in this system and this program. What? Obviously, everybody can see the shooting ability, but what is it specifically you think you've made the most progress in?
Just understanding what it takes to compete at this level, really on both sides of the ball. This organization has certain demands that they expect out of their players. And this year I just feel like I'm much further along in that regard. So, just being more comfortable on particularly the defensive end and being able to be a really good team defender, get these other guys in the right spots. That way we can get stops on their end.
That's one of the things that people have noticed sort of just on social media and such, is just your ability to kind of move your feet on defense and anticipate things maybe more than you did when you first come in. Is that's the big difference?
Yeah, well, the game's just moving a lot slower for me. I've seen a lot of the actions because it's a copycat league, and you see a lot of the stuff over and over again in terms of what offenses are trying to run. So, I try to use my IQ on that end as much as I can, but also, big credit to the strength and conditioning staff and athletic training staff, which are really helped me be a little bit quicker on my feet, get stronger, get more athletic. So that's helped a lot. Just working on that, particularly over the last 2 months here before Summer League.
And offensively, obviously as a shooter, you're looking for your spots where you can be most comfortable and sort of moving off the ball a little bit. Are there players? They've had so many great shooters in this organization, obviously going way back. Are there shooters that they've sort of given you to study or to watch in terms of the way that they kind of created their own shots in those situations?
Yeah, for sure. They've sent me a lot of stuff of guys that have come through this organization and also guys all throughout the league. But in terms of the guys through here, Mike Miller, Shane Battier, Ray Allen, Rashard Lewis, stuff like that. So guys that have had success wearing this jersey and doing the things that they preach on a day-to-day basis. So I just try to implement as much as I can.
One of the things you mentioned about at least 3 of those guys, and I covered those teams, and some of those guys got uneven playing time. Mike did at times, James did at times, even Shane was kind of in and out at times during the playoffs, and yet they were always sort of ready when they needed to be ready. And I know in your situation, it has to be kind of the same thing in that regard, right?
Yeah, I'm not one of those guys that's going to have a luxury of, at least at this point in my career, knowing that I'm going to be playing 35 minutes a night. I got to get in where I fit in, sort of thing, and that's part of excelling in my role, is understanding that and mentally preparing yourself for that challenge, because it's not an easy thing to do. Just sit on the bench, maybe a couple games and then come in and try to make shots. So it's something I'm working on, and I believe it's a skill that can be trained. So it's something that they're trying to add to my game.
What is the goal there this year? I mean, as you approach this training camp, you say this is the role that I would like to carve out for myself if all goes the way that I hope it does.
Just help this team win games. Honestly, right now I'm focused on beating the Jazz tomorrow in Summer League. I try not to get too far ahead of myself. At this point, I'm just trying to put as many good days together as possible. And hopefully if I can do that, then at the end of it, I'll have something to show for it.
Are you the best player Maine's produced in a long time? Or do you call New Hampshire?
I was born in Maine. I'm really from New Hampshire. Matt Bonner's a New Hampshire legend, so respect to him.
Is that Red Mamba?
Red Mamba, Red Rocket, whatever you want to call him. Red Rifle, I think, actually. But I got a lot of respect for him. He certainly paved the way. But, I'm just trying to do what I can. You don't see a lot of people coming out of New Hampshire, or even Maine for that matter. Nick Mayo's been pretty good. He's from Maine, too. So,
it's not considered it's not a hotbed in the way we think of maybe, some other places in the country.
Yeah, but I got a lot of pride in where I'm from. I certainly made me who I am, so I'm thankful for my journey and all the people that have helped me along the way.
All right, advice for Jawan in Michigan now. What is? The program obviously was in very good hands with a guy who had it before, and he knows it well, very well. But you know it in a more modern sense than he did.
Yeah,
it's different than the Fab Five.
My advice for Jawan is be yourself. The media has a tendency to always compare. Don't get caught up in that comparison of what Coach B was versus what you are. Be yourself is more than good enough, and he's gonna be just fine. He's an unbelievable person, great coach, knows so much about the game, and he's been where every player is trying to go. Talk about a guy who's had a 19-year NBA career, all NBA guy, so I'm sure he'll have no problem on a recruiting trail. But just in terms of the day-to-day, just continue to be who you are. There's a reason why you're there.
What was your favorite moment at Michigan? Was it the conference tournaments? Was it?
Probably the Final Four. Maybe if you had to go specific moment, probably when the kid Jordan Poole hit that shot. Just because that's, I had fouled out of that game, so that's going from the lowest of lows, thinking your college career is over, to the ultimate high. So there's so many to choose from. But yeah, that one definitely sticks out.
All right, final one. Give me an unusual interest that Duncan Robinson has.
I'll give you two.
Okay.
I've really grown a fan of yoga and Pilates.
Okay.
Particularly in Miami this summer. I tried to really implement that in my training.
Well, there's one on every street.
You're right, exactly, yeah. That and I can cook. I've been trying to cook. I've always been able to cook a little bit, but I was when I was a sophomore, I had a summer job as like a line chef. But recently I've been trying to rehone those skills. So particularly this year, when I was in Miami or Sioux Falls, I was cooking a lot of my meals. So
give me one dish. What was the Duncan? Duncan Robinson's house.
My specialty is it's like a homemade pesto chicken with pasta, tortellini usually. It's fire, man. It's really good.
So tortellini, is it cheese tortellini? Is it
cheese tortellini? But it's the pesto that separates it. I do the homemade. I get the ingredients and blend it up, and it's pretty good.
What's the nickname going to be for you?
For me?
Yeah.
I had a bunch, man. I don't know. People call me Debo. Has kind of always been my nickname. I've heard 3-Bo as well, just because my propensity to shoot threes. But just those two probably are the big ones.
So Debo from the movie Friday?
Yeah. So it actually started out. I didn't always used to be tall. When I was a freshman, I was 5'6".
Okay.
So, I don't know if you've seen Friday, but Debo is.
I've seen Friday.
Big and not white, and I was not big and white. So it was kind of a joke. It's kind of the opposite. And then I happened to get a little bit bigger, but so that's why people always call me Debo, just kind of as a joke and then it's stuff.
Yeah, when I look at you, I think Debo.
Yeah, not really, but. It is what it is.
Did you watch the sequels or just the first one?
I've seen the other ones.
Friday After Next?
The original one's better, though. Yeah. Friday is it's good stuff. Definitely a fan of them.
Yeah, that holds up a little. Well, Duncan, thank you for the time. Good luck this season, and I'll get the Debo nickname out there for you.
I appreciate it.